Hello everybody, my name is Elena. I'm a K through 5 behavior special education teacher in the state of Iowa, and this is a week in my life. It is currently Monday after school. I am working on a when then plan for a student. It's just another form of their behavior plan and just putting it in a different format. We have behavior intervention plans that come in like checklist formats, but sometimes putting it in a different format is easier to read and easier for adults to follow and just kind of pick out exactly what response strategies they need to use, or the statements that they need to be using kind of are like when then statements, or I'm here to help, what do you need, just all of our consistent plan, keeping everyone on the same page. So I'm working on that for another student right now, but I do need to leave here shortly. If you've watched before, you know that I have 2 children and I just only work my contract hours so that I can get here and gone and pick them up from daycare and school and be mom and good on mom mode. So anyways, today actually they're with a different babysitter because my son didn't have school, which means daycare was closed as well. My son goes to a different school district than I work in, so we had to find backup coverage. I was actually scrambling a ton this morning because everybody has the flu. So daycare was closed. Our backup person was home with a daughter with the flu. My sister-in-law is another backup person we usually use. My niece has strep and the flu right now. I texted another friend and her kids are home with the flu, so had to find a 5th backup option. And yeah, we were scrambling to get here and just make sure that I could come to work and didn't have to take a day myself to be at home with the kids. So tis the season though. I also, if you've watched before, you know that I said we were having kind of a false spring about a week back where it was like into the 50s, and that likely we'd be getting a huge snowstorm soon. And here we are. Here it's happening. Tomorrow night is calling for like up to 8 inches overnight from Tuesday into Wednesday, and then some more throughout the rest of the week. So stay tuned to see what days we actually have school this week, because if we get the snow that's forecasted, probably not having school Wednesday, probably a late start Thursday, maybe even a whole day off on Thursday. I guess we'll see what comes, but there is a big snowstorm coming in our future. So anyways, welcome. That's what's kind of going on this week. Like I said, need to get out of here and get my kids from the daycare babysitter today, but I'm so glad you're here. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit subscribe and comment in the video and interact. Let me know who you are, where you're watching from, and I am so glad you're here. Let me know what the weather is like where you are, because here in Iowa, we are prepping for a snowstorm. So I think after all that rambling, yeah, I will end the intro off here, and I will see you all tomorrow. Happy Tuesday. As predicted, we've already got a snow day called off for tomorrow, so it's the end of the day on Tuesday. Somebody in a video a couple weeks ago on one of my vlogs asked about the setup of my room, so I figured I would take this time to walk you through what the setup currently looks like in my room. One of the comments was, it looks like you have a lot of stuff set up, and how do you keep it set up and not torn down? I do, like back here, you can see, I mean, there is a mat back here too, but yeah, I do have my shelf of stuff back here. I will say it didn't always look like this, and there are still times where kids get back here and I have to prompt them to get back to the other side, but it's not always perfect. Stuff does get broken. I mean, I will show you on one of my drawers back here that's just cracked open and there's a big hole in it, and I still just use it as is. But the way the furniture is kind of set up, I do have some preventative factors there. So I will just walk you through the current setup of my room. It does look a little different than my setup of the beginning of the year. If you watched my summer videos, classroom setup this year, I mean, it evolves during the year always, as I'm sure you can relate as a teacher, whether you're in gen ed or not. It evolves with the needs of your rooms, but also I went on maternity leave for 9 weeks at the start of the year. So I was here for not even a full week, had my baby on Labor Day, and then didn't come back till Election Day actually was my first day back. And had to, you know, things changed while I was gone, and then I changed it again, and then I got 2 new kids added to my roster, so things changed again. And anyways, I will walk you through what our current setup is. Okay, when I come in first, you can see we've got a shelf here, and this is our seclusion room. We've got schedules and plans there. If you can see through my hand, they are Velcroed up and either laminated or in a clear pocket sleeve. Anything, that is my biggest tip, anything that you want to hang up on the walls, make sure it's laminated and Velcroed or in a clear pocket sleeve that you can hang up and put back up after it inevitably gets torn down. That's how like all of these are all Velcroed on. So anything that I have hanging up, just assume it's Velcroed on, or it wasn't that important. These are associate binders with student data and schedules and such in it. This is seclusion paperwork, restraint seclusion paperwork. These are breathing strategies, more breathing strategies just for self-regulation. These are some very simple coloring and work tasks for when we need to show that we can work out of the seclusion room and get out of there. Back here, I've got electronics charging, I've got microwave, you know, adult things. I turned this way with food because we want students to stay out of it. Do they get back here sometimes? Sure, they do, and we have to prompt them out. For the most part, though, they really respect it, and it's not too big of an issue. You see, we've got our Leader in Me. This used to be our Superflex wall, as you can see, but then we became a Leader in Me school 2 years ago, and so now all of our habits are up there. Okay, going the rest of this way, I've got cubicles. See, things are always in clear protective sleeves. We've got them hung up with magnets or Velcro. These schedules and expectations are actually stapled up onto these cubicle walls, but you know, this is I have a student who works out of this cubicle, well, both of these, and then you can see there's a desk out here too that the associates usually sit at, or the students will come out and work at. So most of the things that are behind my desk, you can see we've got the cubicles here, my small group table here, and then this cubby here. So usually between these physical barriers of the furniture, it's hard for kids to get behind my desk where I've got things that, yes, would be a pain to pick back up. This I used to have way over here, and it kind of separated out my small group table from everything else, but I had friends who would hop over it or still get behind. So now it's just pushed back there, and it's kind of an extension of a wall. So the only things that they could grab, I mean, I do have some like schedules and stuff, updated things that people need to grab and add to their binders up here, but like these are all soft things that if they get thrown, they get thrown. It's not the end of the world, and it shouldn't hurt too bad, at least. And then anything, you know, I've got staplers back there. The scissors are all put away, but yeah, it's behind my desk, and I can get back here and block them with my own body before they can get to it. You can see over here though, like this is completely, like, this is just taped closed because this has been completely broken from being tipped over before. But yeah, we also have these types of locks on all of the cupboards. I've got another mat back here. There are some books back here. This is a real life tour. Things, the broken crayons and stuff back there, and just floating papers and books. This is just a real life, this is what the room looks like at the end of the day. You can see this is what happens if you don't laminate things and just write on it. It gets ripped off when kids are mad. But we've got, yep, some things up here. In my own mind, would I love for all of this to be cleared off and have a home? Yep, but sometimes stuff happens and you just end up putting it on top of cupboards where kids can't reach it. So behind this row of cubicles, and I will say, if you've watched any of my setup videos, you know I used to have, why am I blanking on words? Tapestries here, and it was a lot more visually appealing, but of course they've gotten ripped down. And after it gets ripped down so many times, you get sick of putting it back up. So there's no more tapestries there. Over here though, again, a big mat that sometimes we have to use as a barrier. Otherwise kids will sit on it sometimes as a work spot or just a break spot. These are all soft things. These actually kind of hurt when they get thrown at them, but they're not gonna like bruise you or cut you or seriously injure you. I've got a student that works from back here. We've got some things Velcroed. Anything that you see up here is Velcroed up there. That's his associate's work stuff. She carries all around in a backpack because we are on the move frequently. And I've got some other, like, look at this. Why does this look like this? Because, man, we've got papers on here. I might as well, and a charger. Like, why? Might as well pick this up, I guess, while I'm over here. But such is life, I guess. That's real life. This is what the room looks like right now. And I've got another student that works from back here. Again, these things are Velcroed up. And he's got a work area. I've also got up here things. These are actually, I did staple these. They are, you can see one missing because I did have a friend climb up on this register and still be able to reach that one and pull it off. But these are all also breathing techniques. It's just nice to have something to look at and refer to if you are trying to de-escalate a student and some of the things that we've worked on, or even just ways to try to distract them. But yeah, that's the state of the room. It's not the most visually appealing right now, but it's functional. So I hope that's at least comforting to you that, you know, my room does not look super visually appealing right now. It does not look like it's in the best shape it's ever been in. And there are things that are not picked up and cleaned up and put away to standards that I would like, but it is what it is. We work on it with kids to clean stuff up and put stuff away, but you know, there are certain battles that you're gonna fight and some that you're not going to, hills you're not gonna die on. And yeah, some of the ticky-tacky little stuff, it's just a continued work in progress and trying to get them to be organized and put things away and continue to prompting it, but sometimes it just happens to be, it is what it is. So yeah, that's what the room looks like. Biggest things, if you are trying to, you know, improve the layout of your room, the things that I prioritize, at least from a sped perspective, like the flow of the room, everyone needs to have their own workspace. So trying to create as many barriers as you can, whether it's with desks, whether it's with bookshelves, if you've got the cubicles that I have, mats, cabinets, just arranging things to create more independent workspaces for all the students so they're not just constantly feeding off each other, even though that still happens sometimes because you can still hear everybody, but that helps a lot. Give them some privacy. Anything that you're going to hang up, keep it laminated and Velcro if possible so that you can hang it back up after it gets torn down. And anything that would be within student reach is something that's soft and not breakable so that you're minimizing the risk for injury for anybody. And the things that you can't completely put away, like I don't have a lot of cabinet space. The cabinet space that I do have over there is completely full of either reward options, like there's a complete game cupboard, and then there's one with a bunch of food items in it and rewards that they can choose at the end of the day for checkout with their PBIS tickets. So yeah, the only one that actually has my stuff stored in it is this one back here. I've got one storage cabinet. That's why you've got like so many of these out, because this is where I like do a lot of my lesson planning and store a lot of like my desk items, because I don't have a desk in here. So anything that would be a desk item is in here. And then these are all how I like lesson plan and keep their materials stored for their small group lessons that I'm doing. And then I've got a bunch of other curriculum stuff over here as well, as far as like books and curriculum and games and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of how everything is organized. And it's all like strategically placed in where it's blocked by other furniture to minimize the chance of students getting to it and ripping it down. So yeah, I guess those are my tips for arranging your room, especially a special education room. Kind of mentioned we are getting a huge snowstorm. We're supposed to get 8 inches overnight, so they've already canceled school for tomorrow, and I'll be home tomorrow. Then on Thursday, I've got CPI instructor recertification class. So, and it's supposed to be 20 below on Thursday, so I kind of doubt that we'll have school, but I'm probably still gonna have that class. But I've got my sub plans out for Thursday anyways. So yeah, that's ready to be gone on Thursday, and then I will probably be back Friday. So that feels good for me to know that it's gonna be Friday before I can come back here. I do hope, honestly, I hate being gone. I just feel like chaos happens when I'm not here, and I hate for other people to have to be the ones to step in and deal with situations that I would be handling, even though I know it, like, I can't help it. I have to go to this class on Thursday. Even though I did get sub plans ready, I just would prefer that there's no school and no one has to deal with it, and I come back on Friday, and yeah, no one's had to be my sub. Tips for sub plans: create a template of just directions for it, because, like, especially in special education, you've got routines and scripted interventions that you're doing with kids. Just create, like, make sure you've got good routines in place that you've taught the kids. Type up your sub plans as the routines, and then I literally just, hopefully I can show you this without showing any names. I'm gonna turn this around. Okay, I literally just, like, I've got my template here, and then I just wrote, like, what lesson we're on and what page to find it on, so you can see where my handwriting is in there. But, like, type the routine out, learning targets, update that as needed. But if you've got a good routine there, I just was able to print the template and then handwrite in any lessons. So anyways, that's my update for today. I'm gonna go home, enjoy a snow day with my kids, and I will see you when I see you, probably on Friday. I'm here doing my CPI training, and they hosted at the a conference room at a hotel, so I'm at the Sheridan, and I need to do my pumping breaks, and they legit just gave me a hotel room to come and do my pumping break in, which is amazing. But I'm going to take full advantage and sit on the bed and pump, because this is way nicer than my school accommodations for doing this. So score. Also, I just planned on bagging everything that I pumped today, because I didn't even bring my jar because I didn't think I was gonna have access to a fridge, but there is a little mini fridge in here. So, oh well, that's okay. But not complaining about this setup.
What if we jumbled up the words?
Home's best is Comdata.
No.
What if we said it in Spanish?
Homes.com es el mejor.
No.
What if we listened?
Hello everybody, happy Friday. We made it to the end of the day. It is Valentine's Day, so today was kind of chaotic and hectic, as every party day is. If you are a support teacher, a special education teacher at all, you know that they're excited about it, but then they've got a lot of emotions about it too, and sometimes that overexcitement leads to just not good behaviors. Even though they're excited about it, they don't know how to handle all their emotions about it, and sometimes the being out of routine also throws them way off. So it can be chaotic, but overall it was good. Most of my kids were excited and had positive emotions about it, and it was something they were looking forward to. So thankfully that's how it went today. It doesn't always go that way. Sometimes we're not looking forward to that, and like I said, need our routines. But today my kids were all excited about it and looking forward to their parties, and had fun doing it at the end of the day and passing out their little valentines with their class. We called them friendship parties, but they still all brought valentines and made boxes and passed out candy and everything. My son's school was not allowed to bring any edible treats. They had to only bring things, trinkets, like pencils and such. If they were going to hand anything out at all, it was like completely optional. So I'm really curious what his party day looked like and how many kids did or didn't participate. The whole thing was framed as like very optional. So yeah, I'll have to ask him about that and see what that looked like for him. So yeah, that's the end of the week. I'm trying to think through. Yesterday I had my CPI training and I got recertified. Oh, I thought the announcement was going to go off. I got recertified to be a CPI trainer. So that's positive for me, I guess. They survived the day without me. It actually ended up being a late start, but that didn't affect my training at all. I still had to be there at the normal start time for that training, but it was like -15 yesterday when I dropped my son off to school. And his school didn't have a late start, which I thought was interesting because, yeah, like I said, it was -15 and they didn't do a late start, but my school district did. So I guess that made it a little bit easier since I wasn't here yesterday and they survived the day. Thankfully, my principal and counselor were able to help as needed, but they survived and we survived today, and that's another week in February down. So we really have full weeks until conferences, but now I'm looking at the calendar. We're only 3 weeks away from conferences, which means then we're only 4 weeks away from spring break because our conferences are always the week right before we get to go on spring break, which is really exciting. It just makes it feel like spring is closer, even though we very well could get continued snowstorms. It's actually snowing right now. But the snow totals for this weekend's like second round of snow is way less than what it was earlier. We had 8 inches at least, I think. I should double check that in this round of snow that we got a snow day for on Wednesday. But we were supposed to get like another whole round of it again tonight into tomorrow, and it's turning out to be way less than that. But it is snowing right now, so I'm gonna have to be careful on my commute home. So yeah, in other sad news, tomorrow I hate having to talk about this now, but yeah, we are putting one of our dogs down this weekend. She's the dog that was with me through, I mean, so many life things through your 20s that just grows up with you. I've had her for the last 10 years now. So she's been with me through a lot of, previous relationship, a breakup, moving in on my own and living in my own apartment for my first time. And then my next relationship who, now we're married, we have kids. She's been there through it all. So even though I know it's time, it doesn't make it any easier to say goodbye. So yeah, we have to do that tomorrow morning. I'm not looking forward to that at all. But then we have plans to go to the Home and Garden Show with some other friends after that. Hopefully that can distract me and keep my mind off it. I have been trying to just keep my mind distracted and not think about it. But tonight's really our last night with her. So we're going to give her a bath and give her some treats and snuggle her. And yeah, that's kind of our plan. And then, yeah, Sunday will be church. And then we have like a sibling date planned for my son and his biological siblings. So if you're new here, we adopted my son this summer. We were a licensed foster care and adoption home. And this summer, 5 days before I had my baby, we adopted a 9-year-old. He had been living with us for the past year. And so that was all a very planned thing. It just happened very close to me also giving birth, but we still make sure that he regularly gets together with his biological siblings. So I think we're going to go to the Science Center on Sunday together is what we decided on and agreed on. So it'll be a busy, packed weekend, and then we'll move into another full work school week. But spring break is near, and that is something to look forward to. That'll be our next really big break. And then after that, there's no breaks until the end of the school year. So stay strong. Anyways, that's it for this week. I so appreciate you being here. If you haven't already and you're watching this video and made it to this point, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can continue seeing all the content that I post. I try to post a weekly vlog at least, and sometimes some other more specific topic videos in between there. But appreciate you being there. thank you for watching and supporting this little hobby and endeavor of mine. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Try to take one ride around in my body, Can't say I saw you around when I started.